Welcome back, everyone, to another extraordinary journey into the hidden world of gemstones, where belief, history, and mystery collide in ways you've never been told before. Today, we uncover 10 gemstones so powerful that legends say demons themselves avoid them. From stones used in ancient exorcisms to gems buried with kings as eternal guardians, this list is unlike any ordinary countdown. Each rank reveals secrets from archaeology, myth, and ritual, but there's one stone at the very top, the number one, that may change how you think about gemstones forever. For centuries, it was feared not for its beauty, but for its ability to trap spirits and expose what hides in the dark. And here's a warning. Don't skip this video, because overlooking stones like these could mean misunderstanding their true legacy, and even making the wrong decisions if you ever think of collecting or investing in them. If you're new here, welcome to World of Gem, a channel dedicated to exploring the untold stories of history's most fascinating stones. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe so you won't miss the incredible journeys we have coming up. Now let's begin our descent into the top 10 gemstones demons fear the most. Top 10. Onyx, the nightstone demons could not breach. If there is one stone that humanity has both feared and worshipped, it is onyx. During archaeological excavations, fragments of onyx have often been discovered hidden in burials, beneath temple floors, or sealed inside ancient walls, almost as if used as a barrier. From the very first 30 seconds, this stone fuses history and legend, branded as a stone of darkness, yet paradoxically, the very thing that forces demons to stay away. Geologically, onyx is not rare. It is a banded variety of chalcedony, composed of microcrystalline silica. Significant deposits have been mined in India, the Arabian Peninsula, Mexico, Brazil, and Madagascar. In Roman records, artisans from Phrygia, modern-day Turkey, were known for their skill in carving onyx for cameos. Extraction typically took place in volcanic regions where silica veins were exposed, then cut into slabs to reveal the striking, parallel black and white layers. Its color is central to its power. Deep black bands, as dark as an abyss, cut through by thin white stripes as delicate as fingerprints. When polished, its glossy surface becomes a mirror, something ancient cultures believed could reveal the soul itself. Amulets carved from onyx were often shaped into discs or engraved with divine symbols, transforming the stone into a one-way doorway, a place where evil spirits could be expelled but never return. In terms of form, onyx was most often cut into cabochons or engraved using the Roman intaglio technique, producing negative designs that could be used to stamp symbols onto wax. In Egyptian tombs, archaeologists have uncovered onyx vessels used in rituals. With its smooth, jet-black finish, many cultures believed that if a malicious spirit looked into the stone, it would be drawn in and trapped with no way to escape. And this is precisely why demons were thought to avoid onyx. Unlike ruby or diamond, it does not blaze with brilliance. Instead, its darkness was seen as the natural rival to the darkness of demons. In mystical thought, the darkness of nature was stronger than the darkness of evil, forcing demons to recoil. Arabic texts describe onyx as capable of imprisoning wandering souls, and for that reason, no spirit of malice dared to come near it. Today, onyx may not command high commercial value, but in archaeology and anthropology, it remains a stone of great significance. Every time onyx is uncovered in a site, researchers are left wondering, was this a ritual space or a deliberate barrier against unseen forces? What is striking is that across vastly different cultures, whether in the East or the West, the belief persisted. Onyx is not just stone, but a wall between humanity and the demonic. If you too are surprised that such an unassuming stone could hold a reputation powerful enough to repel evil, leave a comment below. Because sometimes It is the stones considered the least valuable that guard the most extraordinary secrets. And let me end with a question for you. Which gemstone do you believe, in 2026, will surpass even diamond in spiritual influence? Share your thoughts in the comments, and take this discussion to gemstone groups on Facebook or Reddit, where you'll find others eager to debate the true power of stones like onyx. Top 9. Ruby, the flame of purity. Demons could not cross. Among the stones most feared by demons, few shine as fiercely as the ruby. At first sight, its vivid crimson seems less like a gemstone and more like a fragment of living fire. For centuries, cultures across Asia believed that this stone not only decorated the body, but also protected the soul. In the chronicles of Myanmar, warriors carried rubies under their skin to ensure no demon or spirit could ever claim them in death. For the first 30 seconds, one fact becomes clear. Ruby was never only about beauty, it was about survival against enemies both human and supernatural. Geologically, ruby is a variety of corundum, composed of aluminum oxide with traces of chromium that give it its intense red color. Ranking 9 on the Mohs scale, it is second only to diamond in hardness, a stone that can endure almost any condition. Significant deposits have historically been found in Myanmar, Sri Lanka, and Thailand, with newer sources in Mozambique and Madagascar. Ancient miners often retrieved rubies from river gravels, carefully sifting through sediment where flashes of red signaled not just wealth, but divine protection. The color of ruby carried a meaning far beyond the material. Its red hues, ranging from deep blood tones to brilliant pigeon's blood scarlet, were linked to life force itself. In folklore, demons were thought to recoil from this intensity. The belief was that ruby's glow was a fragment of the sun's fire, one that no spirit of darkness could endure. As a result, rubies became embedded not only in jewelry, but in amulets, weapons, and temple relics. Historically, ruby played a decisive role in both royal and spiritual life. In India, ancient texts praise the gem as Ratnaraj, the king of stones, a gem that brought divine favor. Burmese chronicles describe warriors implanting small rubies beneath their skin before battle. The ritual was not symbolic, it was a literal belief that ruby's energy would repel spirits of death and give immunity to demonic possession. In medieval Europe, rubies were set into church treasures, believed to glow brighter in the presence of evil, serving as a silent warning to priests. In terms of shape and use, rubies were most often cut cabochon in antiquity, their rounded domes emphasizing the inner glow. Faceting came later, but long before that, rubies were engraved with sacred symbols and carried in reliquaries. Archaeological digs in South Asia have revealed ruby beads in ritual sites, suggesting they were worn not just for status, but as talismans against unseen forces. Today, ruby remains one of the most prized gemstones in the world, commanding record-breaking prices at auction. Yet behind the glamour of the jewelry market, its cultural identity as a protector has never vanished. In Myanmar, ruby mines are still surrounded by folklore. Miners whisper that the spirits of the mountains guard the finest stones, and that those who take rubies without ritual offerings risk unleashing misfortune, not because the stone is cursed, but because its power is too strong to be mishandled. And so, ruby's role in repelling demons is not a forgotten myth, but a tradition that has echoed across centuries. From the temples of India to the battlefields of Burma, ruby's flame has been trusted to burn away the shadows. If you find it surprising that a stone so beautiful was once carried as a literal shield against evil, leave a comment below. Stories like this remind us that value is not only measured in money, but in the human struggle against fear. And here's my question to you. Which gemstone do you believe will be the faithful guardian against darkness in the years ahead? Ruby, emerald, or something else entirely? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't hesitate to take this discussion to gem enthusiast groups on Facebook or Reddit, where debates over the sacred fire of ruby are far from over. Top 8. Turquoise, the sky stone. Demons could not approach. Among the stones most deeply woven into humanity's battle with the unseen, none is as instantly recognizable as turquoise. Its sky-blue surface, veined with dark spiderweb lines, made it one of the earliest gemstones humans ever revered. But turquoise was never valued only for its beauty. For Persians, Egyptians, and Native Americans alike, it was the stone believed to ward off nightmares, keeping demons at bay. In the very first 30 seconds, one thing is clear. Turquoise was not just jewelry. It was protection carried into every frontier of human life. From a geological perspective, turquoise is a hydrated phosphate of copper and aluminum, with a hardness of 5 to 6 on the Mohs scale. It forms in arid regions where copper-rich groundwater interacts with aluminum and phosphorus minerals. The most famous mines stretch across Iran, Egypt's Sinai Peninsula, the American Southwest, and Tibet. Ancient miners sought it by chiseling into dry hillsides, where thin veins of blue signaled the treasure. In the Persian desert, turquoise was so abundant that entire towns thrived on its trade, exporting the stone as far as India and the Mediterranean. The color turquoise defines its power. To the Persians, it reflected the heavens. To the Egyptians, it mirrored the life-giving Nile. To the Navajo and Apache cultures, it embodied the combination of sky and water. This connection to celestial and natural order was precisely why demons were thought to avoid it. A stone tied to heaven and earth simultaneously was believed to leave no space for evil to enter. Turquoise amulets, carved into scarabs in Egypt or strung into necklaces in Persia, were intended not just to adorn, but to defend. Historically, turquoise shaped rituals, warfare, and burial customs. In Persia, warriors decorated their weapons with turquoise to ward off hostile spirits on the battlefield. Egyptian tombs, including that of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, contained turquoise inlay to protect the soul in its passage through the afterlife. In Native American traditions, turquoise was often placed in sacred bundles or embedded in arrowheads. These were not ornaments. They were safeguards against evil spirits believed to stalk both the living and the dead. In terms of form and symbolism, turquoise was rarely faceted. Instead, it was polished into smooth cabochons, beads, or carved figurines. Its opaque surface and unique matrix made it more suitable for carving than for sparkle. Many turquoise amulets uncovered in archaeological sites bear protective symbols, such as eyes, stars, or animal motifs, designed to amplify their role as guardian stones. Why did demons avoid turquoise? In cultural logic, turquoise represented purity and alignment between sky and earth, water and life. Anything associated with disorder, chaos, or malevolent spirits could not approach it. Folklore in Persia claimed that turquoise worn on the body would break or discolor if the wearer were in danger, serving as both shield and warning. Among Native Americans, it was believed that turquoise could absorb negative energy, preventing evil from attaching itself to the person carrying it. Today, turquoise still holds a unique role. While mass mining has lowered its commercial rarity compared to ruby or emerald, its spiritual reputation remains intact. In the southwestern United States, turquoise jewelry is not just a fashion statement, but a heritage, a living reminder of ancestral beliefs. In Tibet, turquoise continues to be offered in temples as a way to maintain harmony between worlds. So when you see a piece of turquoise today, think beyond its color. Think of the thousands of years in which people trusted it, not just to decorate their bodies, but to protect their souls from forces they feared most. If it surprises you that this opaque blue stone carried so much weight in the battle against evil, leave a comment below. Sometimes the rocks that appear simplest hold the most complex histories. And here's my question to you. Do you believe turquoise still protects people today, or has its power been replaced by modern beliefs and technology? Share your thoughts in the comments and carry this discussion to Facebook or Reddit groups where turquoise is still debated as more than just a gemstone. Top 7. Pearl, the moon's gift. Demons could not defile. Few gemstones are born with the same mystery as the pearl. Unlike rubies or emeralds pulled from deep in the earth, pearls form inside living shells, creations of the sea itself. From India to Rome, from China to the Middle East, pearls were believed to contain the light of purity. And in the long history of spiritual warfare, purity was the one thing demons could never withstand. In the first 30 seconds, one truth emerges. The pearl was never just a gem of beauty. It was a shield against corruption and evil spirits. From a scientific perspective, pearls are formed when layers of aragonite, calcium carbonate crystals, are secreted by mollusks around an irritant. Over time, these concentric layers accumulate, creating the lustrous orb recognized across civilizations. Natural pearls are found in oysters and mussels in regions such as the Persian Gulf, the Indian Ocean, the South China Sea, and later in the coasts of Japan. Divers risked their lives to reach pearl beds, holding their breath for minutes while scraping oysters from the seabed, never knowing if they would return with treasure or nothing. The color and form of pearls carried strong symbolism. White and cream pearls symbolized chastity, while rare pink and golden hues signified divine favor. Perfectly round pearls were seen as miniature moons, glowing in the darkness. Their smooth, radiant surfaces were believed to repel impurity, a quality that made demons hesitate. In Indian folklore, pearls were mounted into charms and tied to the body to guard against rakshasas, flesh-eating spirits of the night. To wear a pearl was to carry a fragment of untouched purity, something no evil force could penetrate. Culturally, pearls held sacred roles across continents. In ancient Rome, they symbolized Venus, the goddess of love, and were worn to attract divine protection. In early Islamic tradition, paradise itself was described as adorned with pearls. In Chinese dynasties, pearls were sewn into burial garments to ensure the soul remained untainted as it journeyed into the afterlife. The unifying theme was always the same. Pearls stood between humanity and corruption, between the living and whatever lurked beyond. Pearls were rarely altered by cutting or shaping. Their natural roundness was considered perfect, and their gentle glow needed no enhancement. In archaeology, pearl beads found in South Asia and the Middle East are among the earliest examples of humans wearing gemstones as protective amulets. For thousands of years, a single pearl could command more wealth than gold, not because of rarity alone, but because of its supposed spiritual power. Why did demons avoid pearls? The logic was simple across cultures. Pearls embodied incorruptibility. Unlike stones of fire or earth, pearls came from water, the element of cleansing. Their glow was not harsh, but soft, a radiance tied to the moon and the cycles of renewal. To approach a pearl, in the mind of ancient believers, was to be burned not by flame, but by purity itself. And purity was the one force demons could not endure. Today, pearls are cultivated worldwide, particularly in Japan and China, where the cultivation of cultured pearls has revolutionized their availability. Yet their cultural role has not disappeared. In South Asia, pearls are still offered in religious ceremonies. In the West, they continue to symbolize innocence, worn in weddings as silent guardians of fidelity and blessing. So when you look at a string of pearls today, see beyond the elegance. Remember the divers who risked drowning to bring them up from the sea, and the generations who trusted them not just as ornaments, but as barriers against evil. If you are surprised that something so delicate was once seen as humanity's defense against night creatures, leave a comment below. Sometimes fragility holds more power than strength. And let me leave you with this. Do you believe pearls are still a form of protection today, or have they been reduced only to symbols of fashion? Share your view in the comments, and take this discussion into pearl enthusiast groups on Facebook or Reddit, where debates continue over whether the pearl's true legacy is beauty or protection. Top 6. Amber, the eternal light. Demons could not enter. Of all the materials humans have cherished, none carries the strange duality of being both gemstone and ancient life like amber. At first glance, amber glows like solidified sunlight, its honey tones captivating the eye. But look closer, and you may find the wings of an insect frozen for millions of years. For ancient peoples, amber was more than a gem. It was a vessel of purity, believed to guard the soul and ward off evil spirits. In the first 30 seconds, we confront a paradox, a stone that is not stone at all, yet was feared by demons more than many valid minerals of the earth. Amber is not a crystal, but rather fossilized tree resin that has hardened over tens of millions of years. Chemically, it is composed of organic compounds, primarily succinic acid, that give it its durability and warm glow. Deposits are famously found along the Baltic coast, in Myanmar, and in the Dominican Republic. In antiquity, Baltic amber washed ashore after storms and was collected by hand. Farther inland, it was mined from sandy soils, where veins of hardened resin formed underground. The color and clarity of amber made it a symbol of light. Shades ranged from pale yellow to deep reddish-brown, with rare specimens glowing green or blue. Its transparency often reveals inclusions, such as plants, insects, and even fragments of prehistoric ecosystems. To ancient Europeans, these inclusions were not curiosities, but signs that amber held life inside, proof that no demon could inhabit a body already sealed with nature's fire. Historically, amber played a central role in rituals and trade. Along the prehistoric amber road in Europe, beads traveled from the Baltic to Greece, Egypt, and Mesopotamia. Archaeological finds in Mycenaean tombs reveal that amber jewelry was placed beside the dead, serving as a barrier against corruption in the afterlife. In Roman times, burning amber was part of purification ceremonies. Its smoke was believed to ward off malicious spirits. Early Christian texts even mention amber as a substance that could trap demons in its hardened glow. In cultural practice, amber was rarely faceted. Instead, it was polished into smooth beads or amulets, its warmth pleasant to the touch. In burial sites across Central Europe, archaeologists have discovered amber pendants shaped into discs or teardrops, which were hung around the deceased's chest. These were not mere ornaments. They were believed to be guardians, keeping the dead safe from possession. Why did demons avoid amber? The answer lies in its essence. Amber represented preserved life and eternal light. Whereas evil was associated with decay and darkness, amber was proof that life could be locked in time, untouched by corruption. Its resinous origins tied it to trees, symbols of the world's vitality. When burned, amber released a sweet fragrance, and the rising smoke was believed to drive away spirits. In this way, amber embodied both permanence and transformation, the very qualities that demons were thought to be unable to withstand. Today, amber retains its mystique. In Poland and Lithuania, it is still crafted into rosaries and protective charms. In Asia, amber beads are used in meditation and prayer, their warmth said to calm the mind and purify the space. Though its commercial value depends on clarity and inclusions, its symbolic weight remains far greater than its price tag. So when you hold a piece of amber today, consider what it truly represents. Not just fossilized resin, but a bridge between worlds, a memory of forests long gone, and a light that darkness cannot claim. If it surprises you that something so organic, so fragile, was once treated as a weapon against demons, leave a comment below. Sometimes the softest materials carry the hardest power. And here's my question to you. Do you believe amber's power lies in its beauty, its history, or its ability to preserve life itself? Share your thoughts in the comments and extend this conversation into Facebook or Reddit groups about gemstones, where debates over amber's role as captured sunlight still burn brightly. Top 5. Lapis Lazuli. The celestial stone demons could not challenge. Few stones carried as much authority in the ancient world as lapis lazuli. Its deep blue surface, flecked with golden pyrite, seemed like a fragment of the night sky brought down to earth. Across Mesopotamia, Egypt, and beyond, lapis was never treated as a mere gemstone. It was the stone of gods and kings, and more importantly, the stone that demons were believed to fear. In the first 30 seconds, the truth emerges. Lapis was not just worn for status, it was wielded as protection against forces darker than night itself. Geologically, lapis lazuli is a metamorphic rock composed primarily of the mineral lazurite, with additional components, including calcite and pyrite. Its hardness sits at 5 to 5.5 on the Mohs scale, making it relatively soft. However, its color and inclusions give it unmatched prestige. The most famous mines lie in Badakhshan, northeastern Afghanistan, a source that has been worked continuously for over 6,000 years. From these rugged mountains, raw lapis was transported along ancient trade routes into Mesopotamia, Egypt, and later to the Mediterranean world. The color of lapis defined its symbolic power. Its ultramarine blue was unlike any other natural material available to ancient civilizations. To the Mesopotamians, the color represented the heavens. To the Egyptians, it symbolized rebirth and divine authority. The golden flecks of pyrite within the stone resembled stars. It was this cosmic association, stone as sky, that made demons hesitate. A gem tied to the realm of gods was thought to expose and banish spirits of chaos. Historically, lapis lazuli was central to ritual practice. In Mesopotamia, it was carved into cylinder seals, each of which was engraved with protective symbols. In Egypt, it was inlaid into the death mask of Pharaoh Tutankhamun, believed to shield his soul from malevolent forces in the afterlife. Priests wore lapis amulets shaped like the Eye of Horus, designed to ward off both human and demonic enemies. In the Hebrew Bible, lapis is referenced as part of priestly garments, linking the stone directly to sacred defense. In terms of form and use, lapis was most often carved into beads, scarabs, and amulets. Its softness allowed artisans to inscribe protective prayers directly into the stone. Some of the earliest demon traps in Mesopotamian archaeology are carved lapis figurines placed in the foundations of temples, intended to bar spirits from entering holy spaces. Why did demons avoid lapis lazuli? To ancient minds, its brilliance was not of this earth. A stone believed to be infused with divine authority was thought to embody the very essence of the sky. Evil could hide in darkness, but it could not hide in the heavens. For this reason, lapis was seen not only as a guardian for the living, but also as a navigator for the dead, guiding the soul safely past demonic obstacles. Today, lapis lazuli continues to carry prestige. In the Middle Ages, it was ground into ultramarine pigment, the most expensive paint in Europe, reserved for depictions of the Virgin Mary. In modern Afghanistan, traditional lapis carvings continue to be popular as protective charms. While its market value varies with quality, its symbolic weight as a stone of truth and defense remains unchanged. So when you see lapis lazuli, remember, it is not only an artifact of beauty, but a testament to humanity's oldest battle, keeping the forces of chaos at bay. If you find it surprising that this rock, softer than quartz, once stood as humanity's shield against the demonic, leave a comment below. Sometimes the stones least resistant to the hammer are the ones most resistant to fear. And let me end with this. Do you believe lapis lazuli's true power was its color, its cultural meaning, or the faith people placed in it? Share your thoughts in the comments, and carry this discussion into Facebook or Reddit groups on ancient artifacts, where lapis still sparks debate over whether it was used more as a jewel, pigment, or protector. Top 4. Jade, the sacred barrier. Demons could not break. Few stones have carried as much spiritual weight across civilizations as jade. To the Chinese, it was the essence of heaven and earth. To the Olmecs and Maya, it was the breath of life itself. For thousands of years, jade has been carved into weapons, ornaments, and burial relics, not because it sparkled like a diamond, but because it was believed to contain the power to repel evil. In the first 30 seconds, we uncover why jade was never simply a decoration. It was a shield, one even demons were thought powerless to cross. Geologically, jade is not one single mineral, but two: nephrite, a calcium-magnesium silicate, and jadeite, a sodium-aluminum silicate. Both are tough, with interlocking fibers that make jade stronger than steel in resistance to fracture. Nephrite deposits are found in China, Siberia, and New Zealand, while jadeite sources include Myanmar, Guatemala, and Japan. Ancient miners sought jade from riverbeds or quarried it directly from boulders, valuing not just its color, but its incredible toughness. The color of jade determined its cultural meaning. In China, creamy white nephrite was associated with purity, while green jadeite, especially the vibrant imperial jade from Burma, was linked to vitality and protection. In Mesoamerica, translucent green jade symbolized maize and fertility. However, across cultures, the unifying belief was the same. Jade was believed to carry life force energy strong enough to ward off malevolent spirits. Historically, jade shaped rituals of life and death. In Neolithic China, jade discs were buried with the dead, placed on the chest to shield the soul from wandering demons. The Han Dynasty crafted jade burial suits, stitching thousands of small plaques together with gold wire, sealing the body against decay and possession. In the Americas, the Olmecs carved jade masks to represent divine beings, believing the stone's spirit could protect against the underworld. From Asia to the Americas, jade was consistently chosen not for its wealth, but for its protective qualities. In form and symbolism, jade was among the most versatile stones in history. Archaeologists have uncovered jade axes buried in graves, suggesting weapons were given new life as guardians. Amulets shaped like cicadas, carved from jade, were placed in the mouths of the dead in China to prevent demonic interference in the soul's journey. In Maori culture, jade, or punamu, was carved into pendants passed down through generations, believed to retain the spirit of ancestors, a force that no evil could withstand. Why did demons avoid jade? In cultural logic, jade embodied balance and permanence. Its toughness symbolized endurance, its translucence symbolized purity. To wear jade was to align with cosmic order, something chaos could not touch. Ancient Chinese texts describe jade as a material that illuminates the heart and wards off corruption. In this way, jade was not only a material object, but a metaphysical boundary, a silent guard against the forces of darkness. Today, jade remains a symbol of immense cultural significance. In China, jade bangles are still worn as protective charms, believed to break in place of the wearer during moments of misfortune. In Central America, jade remains tied to heritage and spirituality, celebrated in both museums and local rituals. Its market price varies, but its cultural value as a guardian stone has never diminished. So when you see jade in a museum case or in a modern jewelry shop, remember, it is not just art or ornament. It is the echo of millennia of belief that this stone kept humanity safe from what lay beyond. If you find it remarkable that a stone valued more for its toughness than its brilliance was once humanity's strongest spiritual shield, please leave a comment below. History reminds us that protection was often prized above beauty. And let me end with a question. Do you believe jade's real power came from its physical toughness, its cultural meaning, or the faith placed in it by generations? Share your perspective in the comments and carry this debate into Facebook or Reddit groups on ancient artifacts, where jade is still seen as more than just a gemstone. Top 3. Clear quartz. The purity. Crystal demons could not resist. Among all the stones believed to protect humanity from the supernatural, none was as widespread, accessible, and universally trusted as clear quartz. Its transparent brilliance has been called frozen light, and for millennia, cultures around the world believed that this crystal could purify space, banish corruption, and drive away spirits. In the first 30 seconds, one fact stands out. Clear quartz was the common stone that carried uncommon power, the everyday crystal that demons were said to avoid at all costs. Geologically, clear quartz is silicon dioxide, SiO2, one of the most abundant minerals on Earth. With a hardness of 7 on the Mohs scale and a hexagonal crystal structure, it forms in hydrothermal veins, pegmatites, and geodes. Because of its abundance, it was found in regions as diverse as Brazil, Madagascar, the Alps of Europe, and the Himalayan ranges. Ancient people did not need advanced tools to recognize it. Transparent clusters gleaming in sunlight were enough to spark reverence. The appearance of clear quartz, colorless, transparent, and reflective, gave rise to its symbolic power. In Greece, philosophers believed it was eternal ice, frozen by the gods. In Japan, it was called the perfect jewel, embodying clarity and purity. The reflection of light within quartz crystals made many cultures believe that no spirit of corruption could withstand its brilliance. For shamans in both Europe and the Americas, clear quartz was not jewelry, but an instrument, a stone through which to channel protective energy. Historically, clear quartz has been at the center of numerous spiritual and ritual practices. In Europe, crystal spheres were carved as early as the Roman Empire, used by priests to detect and repel demonic presence. Medieval texts describe clear quartz amulets worn by travelers to protect them from spirits on lonely roads. In Australia, Aboriginal healers carried quartz crystals as sacred objects believed to grant the power to heal and ward off harmful forces. From the Himalayas to the Andes, quartz was invoked as a guardian in both life and death. In form and use, clear quartz was versatile. It could be worn as a pendant, carved into spheres, or left raw as clusters in homes and temples. Archaeologists have uncovered crystal daggers in South America, crafted not for combat, but for ceremonial purposes, to defend against spiritual threats. Even today, quartz points are still placed on altars and in healing spaces, echoing traditions that are thousands of years old. Why did demons avoid clear quartz? The answer lies in its association with light and purification. Evil was thought to thrive in darkness and distortion. Quartz, by contrast, was transparent, incorruptible, and filled with light. In spiritual logic, to stand before quartz was to stand before truth itself, and truth was something no demon could endure. This belief made clear quartz the most democratic of protective stones, available not just to kings or priests, but to ordinary people who sought safety in uncertain worlds. Today, quartz remains everywhere, from jewelry to scientific instruments. It is used in watches, electronics, and lenses, a reminder of its enduring clarity. Yet beyond its practical value, it continues to serve as a protective stone in many traditions. In modern spiritual practices, quartz is said to clear energy, echoing the ancient idea that it could repel unseen forces. So when you see a clear quartz crystal, remember that you are looking at more than just silica. You are holding a fragment of history, a piece of earth that people across continents trusted as their shield against what they feared most. If you are surprised that a stone so common could hold such a reputation, leave a comment below. Sometimes it is not rarity that gives power, but belief shared across cultures and generations. And here's my question for you. Do you think quartz remains powerful because of its physical clarity, or because billions of people believed in its protective role? Share your answer in the comments and continue this conversation in gem and history groups on Facebook or Reddit, where the debate over quartz's true strength is still alive today. Top 2. Emerald, the divine vision. Demons could not face. Of all the gemstones tied to myth and protection, few command the same reverence as the emerald. Its vibrant green, echoing the renewal of spring, was long believed to be the eye of the angel, a stone that not only symbolized life, but exposed corruption. In medieval Europe, emeralds were set into reliquaries and talismans with the belief that if a demon drew near, the stone would glow or even reveal the spirit's proper form. In the first 30 seconds, the message is clear. Emerald was never just a gem of beauty. It was a weapon in humanity's defense against the unseen. Geologically, emerald is a variety of beryl, a beryllium aluminum silicate, colored green by trace amounts of chromium and vanadium. With a hardness of 7.5 to 8 on the Mohs scale, emeralds are durable, yet often fracture, making fine-quality emeralds rare and valuable. Historically, the most famous sources were the Egyptian mines at Sikite and Zabara, worked as early as 1500 BCE, followed by the legendary Colombian deposits of Muzo and Chivor, and later finds in Zambia and Brazil. Ancient miners often retrieved emeralds from schist and pegmatite formations, chiseling green crystals from host rock under perilous conditions. The color of emerald held universal power. Its deep green symbolized rebirth, growth, and eternal vigilance. In Christian Europe, green was the color of resurrection. In Islamic tradition, paradise was described as clothed in emerald light. This sacred association made demons recoil. Folklore claimed that a demon could not disguise itself in the presence of emerald. The stone's brilliance would strip away illusion and expose the spirit's corruption. Historically, emerald was woven into the rituals of rulers and priests. In Egypt, Cleopatra's passion for emeralds was not merely a matter of vanity. She believed the stone granted her divine protection. In medieval Europe, emeralds were mounted into crosses and chalices used in exorcisms and rituals of purification. Some texts even suggest emerald could break if worn by someone impure, serving as a spiritual test. In India, the emerald was considered auspicious for wisdom, as it was believed to guard the mind against demonic influence during meditation. In terms of form and use, emeralds were most often polished into cabochons in antiquity. Their natural inclusions, the so-called jardin or garden, were interpreted not as flaws, but as signs of life within the stone. Amulets carved from emerald were believed to focus divine vision, giving clarity to those who wore them. In Europe's cathedral treasuries, large emeralds were displayed to assure congregations that the forces of darkness could not enter sacred space. Why did demons avoid emerald? The answer lies in its association with vision and truth. A stone tied to the eyes of angels was thought to strip away lies and reveal reality. To approach emerald was to be seen, and for evil, exposure was a form of destruction. This belief endowed emerald with a dual role, a guardian for the living and a lantern for the dead, guiding souls safely past the dangers of the afterlife. Today, emerald remains one of the most prized gemstones in the world. From high-value Colombian stones to Zambian emeralds used in modern jewelry, its market presence is immense. Yet its spiritual identity persists. In some cultures, emeralds are still considered protective talismans, carried to repel envy and opposing forces. So when you look at an emerald today, remember that its value is not only in auctions and jewels. For centuries, it was the stone that promised vision, clarity, and protection against the darkest enemies humanity imagined. If you are surprised that demons also feared a gemstone admired for its beauty, leave a comment below. History reminds us that power often hides behind a facade of elegance. And here is my question. Do you believe emerald's strength lies more in its vivid color, its cultural meaning, or the faith people placed in it? Share your answer in the comments, and take this conversation into gem and history groups on Facebook or Reddit, where emerald still sparks debates over whether it is more jewel, relic, or guardian. Top 1. Black Obsidian, the mirror stone demons could not face. Among all stones feared and respected across cultures, none was more directly tied to humanity's struggle with the unseen than black obsidian. Smooth as glass, darker than night, it was believed to be the mirror through which demons revealed themselves and the shield that drove them away. For the first 30 seconds, imagine this: a piece of volcanic glass so sharp it could cut flesh, yet so polished it could reflect a spirit. That paradox, weapon and mirror combined, made obsidian the most formidable of all stones demons were said to avoid. Geologically, obsidian is a type of volcanic glass formed when felsic lava cools rapidly, resulting in minimal crystal growth. It is amorphous, with no actual crystal structure, and can fracture into razor-sharp edges. Found in regions of intense volcanism, such as Mexico, Guatemala, Turkey, Armenia, and Iceland, obsidian was one of the earliest materials shaped by humans into tools and weapons. Ancient quarries in Mesoamerica, particularly around Teotihuacan, supplied obsidian across entire civilizations. The appearance of black obsidian gave rise to its reputation as a stone of supernatural power. A flawless, glossy surface could be polished into a mirror-like plane. To Aztec and Maya priests, these mirrors were not decorative, but portals used in divination and rituals. The belief was that a demon, confronted with its own reflection in obsidian, could not maintain its disguise. The darkness of the stone, paradoxically, became a light against corruption. Historically, obsidian was both a tool and a talisman. In Mesoamerica, warriors wielded macuahuitl, wooden swords lined with obsidian blades that could cut deeper than steel. Yet beyond the battlefield, obsidian was set into shrines as protective mirrors. Spanish chroniclers recorded priests gazing into obsidian mirrors during ceremonies, claiming to see visions of gods or the faces of spirits fleeing from their own reflections. In the Near East, Neolithic burials contained obsidian blades and beads, believed to guard the deceased against intrusion by malevolent forces. In form and use, obsidian was unique. Its sharpness made it indispensable for knives, spearheads, and ritual sacrifices. Its polish made it a surface for reflection and prophecy. Archaeologists have found obsidian mirrors in Aztec temples, often placed at entrances, as though the stone itself was a sentry warding off unwanted spirits. Unlike jewels of brilliance, obsidian's power lay in its darkness, its ability to turn evil back on itself. Why did demons avoid obsidian? In cultural belief, obsidian embodied truth by reflection. Demons could hide in shadows, but they could not endure their own image. To face obsidian was to face exposure, and exposure was destruction. Some traditions even held that obsidian could trap the essence of a wandering spirit, sealing it inside the stone's dark depths, leaving it powerless to harm the living. Today, obsidian continues to be carved into protective objects. In Mexico, artisans still polish obsidian into mirrors and figurines, which are sold not just as souvenirs, but also as spiritual tools. In modern spiritual practices, black obsidian is carried to repel negativity, echoing its ancient role. Though it holds little market value compared to emeralds or rubies, its cultural weight remains immense. So when you see a piece of obsidian, consider what it represents. Born from volcanic fire, shaped into blades and mirrors, it became both humanity's weapon and humanity's shield, a reminder that sometimes the darkest stones carry the brightest defenses. If it surprises you that a simple volcanic glass once terrified demons, leave a comment below. The truth is, obsidian's power was never in rarity, but in belief, and belief has always been the most potent weapon of all. And let me leave you with this. Which of the stones in this entire list do you think was humanity's most excellent protector? Obsidian, emerald, jade, or another entirely? Please share your thoughts in the comments and extend this discussion into gem and history groups on Facebook or Reddit, where debates about obsidian's legacy still burn as fiercely as the volcanoes that created it. Thank you for taking the time to join us on this remarkable journey through the 10 gemstones that legends say even demons fear. Each stone revealed not only its natural beauty, but also centuries of belief, ritual, and hidden power. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to World of Gem. Your support is what gives us the motivation to keep uncovering these forgotten stories and bringing them back to life. And don't miss our next episode. We'll continue this journey into the mysterious world of gems, where the focus shifts from stones that repel darkness to those tied to rituals so secret they were almost erased from history. Once again, thank you for being here. Stay curious, stay inspired, and we'll see you in the next chapter of the World of Gem. Until then, may the stones you carry always protect you.